If you guys ever wonder what this big old black jug is, it's a fuel tank. It looks pretty small, but this is actually 15 gallon. It's a 15 gallon liter, and this is 15 gallons of fuel, so it's better than carrying 3 5-gallon, you know, your typical 5-gallon jugs, the red ones that everyone see. It's very time or space saving. So this is the one I use. There's no spout or anything like that, so you got to have a few things to make this thing work. Now you have to use a siphon. This is a little shaker siphon. There's a little marble in there, and it works by gravity. I modified mine with a clothesline, a metal clothesline. I wrapped it around it so that I can keep this part straight, because if you don't, sometimes this tube here, it likes to just curve when it gets down there, and you can't get the right angle. So I like to keep it straight as possible. And then the fuel jug, it has a lid, and you have to have a tool to open that lid up. So I'm gonna demonstrate how I refuel when I do this. When you refuel, you always want to make sure that your jug is higher than your gas jug, where it's going. So it needs to be higher. You can see this one is a bit higher. If this was on the ground and I had to go up here, it wouldn't really work because gravity wouldn't be doing its thing. So I just have it, I open it up right here. First thing I do is I clean it. Sometimes there's water that gets stuck into this lid here. I get my towel, I clean around this area so stuff doesn't fall in there. And then you just open it up. If it's a hot sunny day, when you open it up, you have to be careful because it will be under pressure. And if you don't be careful, this thing's gonna go poof, it's gonna fly up. It's not gonna start a fire or anything like that, but it's gonna fly up. I'm pretty sure there's pressure in here, so we're gonna open it slowly. You can hear it here soon. You guys hear that? I'm gonna demonstrate it popping up, watch. Oh, it didn't pop up. But that's the lid there. You can see sometimes water gets in here, so just clean it up. And then there's a gasket in here. What I learned in the past is that if you guys carry these, make sure you carry some backup lids with a fresh gasket, because there's been time where this gasket gets old, and thankfully it didn't leak or anything like that, but you always want to have an extra one. So I have 3 of these guys. I only bring one, and then I take one of the lids off, the one that's at home, and I keep it in my truck for spare. So I always bring extra. So you just do that. Open up your gas jug right here, or wherever you need fuel to go to, and then make sure everything is nice and clean. I like to insert about maybe a foot inside, and then when you put this inside, you just gotta shake it. You shake it to get it started. And there it goes. You guys can see it's working already. Let me show you guys. You can hear it. The marble is going up and down because of gravitation and the flow of the fuel, and that's what's pumping it. So it just goes in here, and what I do is I listen to this fuel. Once your gas tank starts to get full, you can hear the difference. And when it's almost full, you always want to take out this part first. Take this out first so there's no more gas pumping, and then drain the rest of it into your fuel tank. So we're almost at half tank, so this thing's gonna take at least 10 gallons, I would say, maybe even 12 gallons. So it's gonna take almost half of this whole jug here, but that should be fine. So I just do that and let it do its thing. I don't have to hold it or anything like that. You just have to keep an eye on it and make sure you don't overfill it. But I think we should be fine. We should be able to take at least maybe 10 or even 12 gallons of it. It's pretty fast too, man. It depends on the it's not super fast, but it's fast enough. It's better than, you know, having to hold a 5-gallon jug here and just wait for it. I didn't bring a gas jug for my generator, so I have to make sure I save some, and I'll have to just siphon this into the generator. And the generator doesn't take that much or use that much. I I don't expect to use a lot of fuel for the generator, so there should be plenty of fuel for the generator. And then my chainsaw, I bring a 1 gallon chainsaw, 1 gallon jug up on my roof there that's mixed already, and that's my chainsaw fuel. You got to mix it with oil. It's not your typical gas. It's almost full. Not quite there yet. But you just gotta listen to it, and you'll know it. The more you do it, the more you know when your gas tank's gonna get full. She's a big eater, Land Cruiser. She eats a lot of fuel. It's nice to empty this weight right here so we don't have that much weight bouncing around on this rear bumper. Yeah, I think it's gonna take almost all this fuel here. I believe they make the fuel jug like this that's clear or white, but it would have been nice to have this one clear so I can see how much fuel I have left. Sometime I have to get a flashlight and just peek inside of it and see how much fuel there is, but for the most part, it'd be nice if this was see-through or like red, like the regular jugs where you can see the fuel level. Just makes it more easier. But a lot of boats and other people use this type of fuel, so that's why you don't see it so much on vehicles, because this is mainly used for boats and other machinery that. We're almost done. And I feel happy right there. So when you're done, you got to make sure you empty this piece out. Don't take it out over here because it will still keep pumping. So you got to cut off the source first. And what I do is I like to let this, I like to keep this hose outside for like a good 5-10 minutes and let it air out, let it dry out, because I put this hose back inside my vehicle. I hang it in my vehicle like that. I try not to wrap this hose. The more you wrap this hose, this tube here is it's very memory, so it holds its memory, which is not good. So that's why I always try to keep this tube as straight as possible. So I just hang it inside my vehicle like that on one of the handles. But I keep this outside for a little bit so that it can air out and it doesn't get smelly, because it does smell like fuel. So that's pretty much it right there. Close it up, and then you're pretty much good. That's how I fuel up on my Land Cruiser. You have your lid. I think we almost used all of it. There should be about I think there's about 1 or 2, 3 gallons, about at least 3 gallons. And then for the gas lid holder, I have a little cool spot right here that I just let it chill out right here. So it just sits right there. And then my siphon tube, I just hang it up right there where that orange is. I just hang it up on that handle on the Land Cruiser, and just hangs it out right there, and whenever I need it, boom, it's readily available. I don't have to go search for it. So that's pretty much it right there. If I'm going on a big trip, I'll fill this up, and then I'll also bring another one and I'll fill that up, and I'll carry that inside the vehicle.